All right, so we took this client who had 500,000 followers at the time and was getting millions of views every month, but they couldn't break 20K per month on their program. We took them all the way from 20K to 56K in only 3 months, and I'm gonna break down exactly the main strategy that actually made the biggest impact. We implemented a bunch of different things for them. I'm gonna show you the 1 or 2 things that really made all the difference for this client and exactly how we implemented. So you can see here, these guys had top of funnel figured out. They were constantly making content. They had a bunch of organic traffic coming into their website. They were getting millions of views in some cases, hundreds of thousands. You can see the volume of content that they were pushing out was quite heavy. And these are almost daily videos that they were pushing out at the time when they were working with me. So this is an old rendering of what their website looked like, or kind of looked like at the time when I was working with them. As you can see, it was a very basic setup, and it had really only one call to action, which was just to book a call directly onto their calendar. And as you can see here, this calendar was quite extensive. It had a bunch of unnecessary questions that didn't really need to be there. And what they were doing was causing a lot of drop off. People would go through this, look at all the information they have to fill out, and that's just a higher chance that they're not going to go through with it all the way. Not only that, but they had an investment question. They were also asking if you were ready to invest into joining their program before you even got on a call with them to see what they were all about. So even with this setup, they were booking over 300 appointments every single month. And so what we identified very, very early on, and was very simple to implement here, was we said, hey, yes, it's great that you're booking 300 appointments every month, and I'm sure you have that data, and we can follow up with the people who showed up to the call or didn't show up to the call. And that's phenomenal, but there's a bunch of leads that you're leaving on the table. You could be capturing way more leads for your business. And so all we did initially was we added a simple form. This form right here was added before the actual calendar. So when you got on the website, you click the button, you would see this first, a pop-up, and then from there you would get sent over to the calendar after you filled out this form. And then immediately after that, we started generating over 2,000 additional leads every single month that were now starting to come into their CRM, which they didn't previously have either. They didn't have the machine to actually do the follow-up with their leads and engage in those multiple touch points that are necessary in order to close a sale. So at that point, all we did was we started hyper-targeting them with specific personalized communications that were going out to them, including their name and any medical conditions that they had, so that it was as personalized as it could possibly be. We also segmented this in a very smart way. They had a lot of people that would come in. Some of them were usually diabetics, some had hypertension, different kinds of conditions. And so what they had was they already had a book of testimonials for people who already had those conditions in the past. And so what we started doing was segmenting the communications. So for example, this person right here, they shared with us that they suffer from high glucose levels. So the communication or the video, the testimonial that we wanted to send to them was relevant to their exact case. If it was someone with hypertension, they were getting something regarding hypertension. And so what that was allowing was hyper-personalized communications going out to these people that made them feel like they were getting communicated by an actual human as opposed to an AI. We even had a picture of an actual person. It looked like a real person's profile on WhatsApp, which made all the difference as far as the interaction that people actually had with it at that point. And so we started sending value-based conversations. We were hyper-personalizing the communications that we were sending out to them. We were sharing results with them. We were sharing testimonials with them. And occasionally we would drop, hey, if you're ready to transform your health, follow this link to get started. And so at that point, what we would do is we would send them to the actual calendar, which was the one that would disqualify the leads. And so what would happen at that point is they would get sent over to the actual calendar, where then they got on a call with a sales rep. We actually trained and set up a sales process for, but I think anybody could have sold at that point. Problem wasn't the sales, it was just the volume issue and a quality issue. They weren't getting enough people through onto the calls, or they weren't maximizing the amount of people that they could get through onto the calls because they weren't engaging in multiple touch points, creating that credibility before they could actually connect. And so what happens is, and what we try to preach here at Q-Wave Labs, the most important thing that what it comes down to is your buyer needs multiple touch points before they buy from you. If you're only doing social media content with no follow-up, then you're relying on your videos to show up on their Instagram or on their TikTok or on their LinkedIn or whatever it is to engage in those multiple touch points. So maybe after they see you 7 or 8 times, they'll actually click on one of your links and then move forward to that next stage. But think about it in terms of stages. Think about it in terms of ladder, right? You don't go, for example, you watched a short version of this video, now you're here, I'm giving you more information, I'm giving you more value, I'm giving you more knowledge, and then my next step here is to offer you my next step up, which is, hey, if you don't want to do any of this yourself, we're going to do it for you, right? And so what it comes down to is understanding that there's a ladder step and that you have to engage in multiple touch points. So it's not enough that you interacted with my video, commented on my video, and then now I'm sharing this with you. That's not enough. I need to now follow up with you and ask you, hey, did you actually watch the video? And then if you didn't, then I need to go back to nurturing you again and sharing short form content with you, or reaching out to you. If I captured your lead data, then I can start sharing emails, I can start sharing text messages, I can start sharing WhatsApp, and I can start increasing the number of touch points through the different channels once I have your lead data and your information. If I'm relying only on social media, then I'm limited to how much I can actually get in front of you, and it'll just prolong the process, right? And so what we did here with this client was, yes, their content was killing. They were machines at making content, and the volume they were pushing out was phenomenal. However, when you look at it on paper, they were killing themselves, right? They weren't capturing the data to then follow up with those people and engage in those multiple touch points. They were relying only on their social media content, which is phenomenal. But what you need is omnipresence. You want to be seen on a billboard. You want to be seen. You want to be heard on the radio. You want to be on social media. You want to be on everywhere that you can possibly be. The more people see you, the more they associate you with credibility, and the more likely they are to purchase your product. A good example here that I like to use is, think of Red Bull. Red Bull, every event, they're sponsoring, and they're giving away free Red Bulls, right? Whenever you think of Red Bull and you think, oh, what kind of social media content do I see from Red Bull? They're jumping off a fucking plane, into space, off a rocket. It's always something crazy. And so what's happening is that they understood that if they just capture your attention through entertainment, because they don't even actually advertise, through entertainment, you create brand recognition. And the odds are that if you ever go to a gas station, if you ever go to a convenience store, and you need to buy an energy drink, you're probably going to go with Red Bull because it's the one that you frequent the most, right? And so let's think about the way that we approach this in a similar fashion, right? We want to get in front of them. Okay, your social media content got you in front of them. Phenomenal. But then now you're only going to rely on the social media content? No. What can we give them for free? How can we give them value? How can we share something that pertains to them? Can we give them... One of the things I forgot to show you here, there was an insulin resistance quiz that we created for this client so that you can, before you even get on a call with them, you can find out what your current condition is. And what this created, this was to create emotion, right? People would get scared. Oh shit, my health is fucked up. Okay, but the point was that when they came through to this, they were leaving us their information, so it served as a lead magnet. And then not only that, but it was just another touch point, right? Hey, we put together this insulin resistance quiz, find out what your status is, and then at the end of the quiz, it tells you, hey, book a call if you're ready to make a change for your life. If not, then we'll just keep sending you more value until you come around. And so that was really all that we implemented here, was just that logic of implementing multiple touch points. But most importantly, we weren't sending a testimonial and saying, hey, give, ask. So we wouldn't include a call to action. We would share this message. Hey, watch Maria's story. And then, yeah, maybe in the description of the video there was a link, sure. But then the quiz, sure, yeah, you could book a call at the end, but you don't have to. The statistics, that was just sharing information with you. The testimonials, that was just sharing information with you. So what we would engage in is, hey, here's a testimonial. Hey, here's a statistic. Hey, we released a new quiz. Check it out. By the way, whenever you're ready, book a call here. And then you didn't book a call? Okay, hey, here's another testimonial. Here's another statistic. Here's another interesting tool that we created for you. Businesses need to engage in regularly creating lead magnets, upfront value adds that we can give away, experiment with them, split test them, see which ones are the ones that give you the biggest return, and increase capital on those. It's not just about ad creatives. A lot of people are thinking, oh, I need to split test my ad creative and try a different photo, try a different copy. Yes, you have to be split testing that, but then you also have to be split testing what comes after that. What are you sharing with them? You should also be split testing if you have AI systems within your business. You can't do this with humans, it's very difficult. If you have AI systems within your business, then you can start doing, hey, 50% of people fall into this nurture sequence and 50% fall into this nurture sequence. And they're very similar, but just minor differences so that you can track performance and optimize any business. It's math. When it comes down to it, it's very straightforward. And what these systems allow you to do is they help you with lead generation. Once you have the lead in the door, then they help you with following up with them, qualifying them for you. You become a cashier within your own business. And then if you implement retention and customer service systems, you don't got to do anything. Your business is fully automated for you. Now, here's the difficult part and the scary part. If your process is currently shit, it's not just about automating. It's first about fixing whatever your shit is, and then you can automate. Because if you automate shit, you're going to get automated, high-class, volume levels of shit. So what we're trying to make you understand here is the importance of implementing these systems strategically, one at a time, and then tracking performance from day one. The number one thing, you should just start sending a little statistic and start tracking performance on that. Right? And then once you have that going, you have a little automation, you have a little nurture sequence where people come in, You share a little video with them, and then you share a little statistic with them, and then just start tracking that, and then just start layering. And then but one step at a time is what I'd recommend to you. Now, here was that quiz, right? What we did as far as numbers, what actually happened, what was the result of all of this, and why should I be doing this within my business? Well, this business, for the entire time that they had been running for about a year and a half before we started working with them. We started working with them in February of 2020. We still do some projects with them today. But this was just a transformative AI infrastructure package that they had purchased with us at the time in order to just completely reshape the way that they were running their business. What we did, we took them, initially, they were at 20K average per month. They had one instance where they had a month that was a 10K month, but then they followed it with a 30K month, and then just continued at a 20K per month every month after that. All right? What we did for them here, as you can see, I'm trying to zoom in for you. It's not, okay, there we go. As you can see, we did in February of 2024, 1 month into working with us. And again, all we did was we added that lead form before the actual calendar. And then we started following up with people on WhatsApp. Since they had a Latin American market, most of their audience was on WhatsApp. So it was the most strategic way to actually get through to them. And so month 1 working with us, they were at 35,460. Immediately 1 month after that, March, we were up 44,510. And a month after that, in April, 3 months into working with us, we were at $56,000, almost tripling their monthly income just through implementing some basic systems, very basic. I mean, this is the stuff that we do today. It gets a lot more complex than this sometimes. This was just, hey, add a lead form and do some follow-up. They already had the testimonials and they already had the content creation. But other than that, that's the full breakdown on exactly how we were able to achieve this for this client. If you understand everything that I just explained in this video and it registered for you, it clicked for you, I'm not here to tell you, hey, this is going to be the end-all be-all system that's going to transform everything for you. No, all I'm trying to teach you is consistency across multiple channels, providing multiple touch points, and making sure that you always create value by implementing creative ways to share what you're doing with your clients through the form of testimonials, quizzes, events, community. There's many different ways that you can implement this, webinars, lead magnets. There's an infinite amount of ways that you can go about providing value upfront. Even if you're in a boring business like a lot of our clients, which is just insurance or law, there isn't a lot of creativity with how you can go about sharing value with people. But we find ways, we know how, because we've done it through experience. We know what works, we know what doesn't work, and ultimately what works is consistency. So if you understand that concept and this is something that you're ready to implement, you're ready to start exploring for your business, and you want to have a discussion with us, a discovery call with us, so that we can help see if you're even qualified to work with us, go ahead and follow the link that's included above so that you can book a call with our team. Again, we're going to see if it's something that we're interested in working on with you. If your business is a mess, we probably won't want to work with you. So I just want to make that very clear. You can book a call on the link above. We'll be more than happy to have a chat with you and see where you're at.